Can you kill the lights?
All right, you're joining us again on Kill the Lights podcast, the Kill the Lights podcast, and we deal with everything on the fringes, horror, dark shit, and
Extreme stuff.
extreme stuff, or at least we like to think it's extreme stuff. And for this episode, we're going to be talking about the new film Annabelle Comes Home, which is distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, and which should be in still be in cinemas by the time you're listening to this. Annabelle Comes Home is part of the Conjuring Universe, and basically centers around a doll that is sort of like a beacon for spirits, both evil and good, and yeah, spooks the shit out of people. And of
The
course,
doll, not the.
this is Joey D and Karl De Mesa is with me, and we're gonna be talking about Annabelle Comes Home. What are the basics that we should know about Annabelle Comes Home?
Well, it's a continuation of the Conjuring Universe.
The
that we are
Conjuring Universe.
Conjuring Universe.
Yeah,
Not the Conjuring Universe, as we
yeah,
are so fond to
two different
two
things.
different things, depending on our demographic. But basically, it's Annabelle is a doll. Yeah, you said
Yeah,
it's a magnet for spirits, for elementals and wraiths and demons.
yeah,
It's basically like an amplifier, I think, a
exactly.
spiritual amplifier or a
So this
supernatural
isn't like your
amplifier.
typical child's play thing where the doll does the actual killing, and this time it's a beacon for evil spirits
Mhm.
who will or will not harm you.
Yes.
So Annabelle is part of a collection of the Ed and Lorraine Warren. As
Case
we know,
files, yeah.
those guys basically took cases popular around America
Hmm.
for a few decades.
Hmm.
Like I know they were part of the Amityville
Case,
case.
yes. One
They
of the
were
more
part of
famous
the
cases.
haunting in Connecticut,
Hmm.
and basically they're the real Ghostbusters.
True.
When people
Yes.
say who you gonna call, you call Ed and Lorraine. And well, this time it starts because part of the Conjuring universe, Annabelle was just like an offshoot. She wasn't really the
Hmm.
main star in the Conjuring
Hmm.
universe up until now, wherein Annabelle Comes Home. She finally makes it to the Ed and Lorraine Little Shop of Horrors, which is AKA their basement,
Their
where
artifact room
yeah,
where
where
everything's haunted.
everything haunted, everything possessed, furniture, dolls, coins, you what have you. They're all locked in this one room, wherein they're protected by not spells, but basically they're protected by a Catholic priest who
Hmm.
blesses the objects and or the casings of where these objects are
Yes.
placed. And basically the film starts off their daughter, Ed and Lorraine's daughter, who is played
Mhm.
by let me get this pronunciation right, McKenna Grace.
Yes.
Basically she's young, she's
She's 10
coming to
years old.
she's
Yeah.
10 years old, and she's coming to terms with what mom and dad do for a living. And but she is also not a brat about it. She's very
Hmm.
supportive of mom and dad's
Hmm.
work. And mom and dad have to go away on a case, and then enter the babysitter. The
Hmm.
babysitter is Madison Eisman and Katie Sarif.
Hmm.
So good cop, bad cop. The babysitter is good, takes care of McKenna Grace,
Hmm.
and then but her friend, who well,
Their
not to
high
be
school
too
friend.
your high
Yeah.
school sort of slutty, sort of whatever friend who likes to break the rules,
Hmm. Rebellious, I guess.
rebellious in nature, goes to the room, opens it, despite all of McKenna Grace's
Despite the signs
warnings,
all over
despite the
the room.
signs, and she fools around in the room and accidentally unleashes Annabelle.
I guess it's accidentally.
Yeah,
And
pretty much
if you
accidentally.
ignore the sign that says possibly do
It's
not open,
accidental if you fucking can't read.
accidentally on purpose.
If you fucking can't read and you just don't like authority figures in your life. Yeah, so basically it was an accident.
Mhm.
All hell breaks loose. They have to spend the night inside the house with
Mhm.
Annabelle's, with a lot of the spirits that Annabelle
Has unleashed, yeah.
has unleashed in his tract, including a hellhound, which is really
That was
interesting.
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, including a hellhound, including dead spirits that had coins in their eyes,
Mhm.
and yeah, with a very small participation of some dude who is not credited, who is the suitor
The suitor of
of
Daniela.
Daniela, the character
Yeah, the
played by
brunette.
Katie Sarif.
Sharif.
And it seems honestly, I knew that it wasn't going to be scary,
Hmm.
because the Annabelle doll, like, unlike it's even the real doll, which is basically a Raggedy Ann doll, was
Yeah,
your
it's a
standard
huge Raggedy
issue
Ann doll.
Raggedy Ann doll. Both dolls scare the shit out of me, but they're not scary.
No, they're not.
They look terrifying, but they're not scary because, again, they don't do shit.
No.
They just attract the spirits. It's still
Yes.
the spirits that are doing the damage. And I knew it was gonna be jump scares,
Hmm.
but
Because that's the Conjuring Universe's
that is the
way.
Conjuring.
It's
That's their
just how it's built.
strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. But was I scared? Not really.
Hmm.
But it was interesting. Like, this is my thing, of all the jump scares, and you can totally tell if something's up during in the scenes of the movies. I think they were done pretty well.
It was a pretty fun movie,
It was
unusually
fun.
enough.
I guess that's what makes Annabelle Comes Home weird, because it's actually one of those bring your friends or bring your date
Yeah.
kind of
It's
movies.
like you don't watch it alone, bro.
You don't watch it alone, not because you're super scared, but it's just a lot more fun to laugh at yourself.
Perfect example, the people behind us in the theater were like,
They were all laughing.
they're all laughing
And
and
they
they were
were
scaring themselves silly.
Exactly. They were scaring themselves more rather than the movie,
movie,
scaring
yeah.
them. And it was nice, but then it's not what I expected of a horror movie. I
Exactly.
hate horror movies wherein you see other people, like, treating it like a party. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because we're not party animals ourselves.
No, we're not.
We don't work well with others. But yeah, in that regard, though, I mean, if you're looking to have a fun night, or better yet, if you're looking to bring a
Mhm.
date,
Yeah, that
and
one.
you're really into that girl or guy, and you want them, like, hiding behind your shoulders,
Mhm.
and hugging you by the end of the night, I think that Annabelle Comes Home accomplishes that, at the very least.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
it doesn't add much of anything to the actual Conjuring mythos, right? Except
Not
for,
really.
I think, letting us see how deep and how wide the scope is. In Ed and Lorraine's case files,
Exactly.
there's a lot of that stuff in there.
There's a lot, like we mentioned earlier, that hellhound totally took me off guard.
Yeah, it was
I
like
felt like I was watching an episode of Supernatural.
Supernatural or like Fright Night, right?
Fright Night.
I like the Devil's Bride, or the bridal dress that drives people to
Oh, that was
to
pretty
violence,
awesome.
right?
The floating dress with the knife.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was pretty awesome. That was scary. That was really scary. That moment. Too bad they didn't show enough of it, though.
No, they didn't.
And
They were kind of like picking small things in the case files, like, oh, let's
Yeah.
show all of it, and then let's try to see maybe which one of these stories we can spin off later.
Oh, that's
right?
true. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's a good point. And well, a lot of other stuff, like, that involved Annabelle, like Annabelle hiding under the covers,
There you go.
and a lot of it seemed to be derived from, like, movies like The Grudge,
Yeah, a lot of
The Ring,
homages to other horror movies, right?
Exactly. Homages, I don't know, maybe. I mean, ripoff might be, like,
They call it
a stronger
referencing,
word.
bro.
Yeah, yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
The ferryman, the corpses with the coins in their eyes, that was okay
That was
because
okay.
it was kind of common, but the bridal dress and the werewolf combined,
Yeah.
the werewolf particularly was kind of funny to me, especially since it was playing around with the suitor.
Yeah, it was pretty goofy. It was
Yeah.
again, like, and I have nothing against these shows, like Supernatural, Scooby Doo. I love those shows.
Yeah,
It's
it was
just
kind of
that-
like those.
Yeah, it
right?
was like that. Like, I was glad I got that extra bigger size of popcorn.
Do you think
because-
it was kind of like an extended episode of a horror series?
Yeah,
right?
remember that series Friday the 13th?
Yeah, there
the
you go.
TV series.
Yeah, where haunted artifacts and objects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it might have taken a page out of that book as well.
Yeah,
And and of course,
I agree.
small kid with babysitters, teenagers. I mean, that's like, it's like a better version of a scary movie.
yeah. I mean, we don't go into these things overthinking, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
an awesome like treatise on demonology, stuff like that. The main Conjuring series actually established that one, but it's a doll. Come
Yeah.
on, man. You go into this just expecting real good jump scares, and at the very
Exactly.
least, it kind of accomplished that one. What else did you like about it?
Well, I guess the fact that Ed and Lorraine were there. I'm big Ed and
Yeah.
Lorraine
Did
fans.
you think it was kind of things? I mean, the plot points kind of fall apart without Ed and Lorraine in there, and just
Yeah, like ever since they hit the cinema with The Conjuring,
yeah,
I've always felt that Ed and Lorraine were like
it's the heart of that series, right?
yeah, and they sort of redefine a lot of horror movies in the sense that they are actually experts
Yeah, yeah.
on
Like they know
the
what to do. They're
supernatural.
authoritative.
Yeah, they're an authority to do that. So it's like watching the A Team.
Yeah, they're the
Like
real Ghostbusters, though, right?
the Ghostbusters, wherein they're serious about it, but they also have that slightly they can laugh at themselves at times. Remember their appearance in the previous I can't remember if it was the
Mm.
Conjuring 2 or whatever, where they were giving a talk,
Oh
and
yeah,
then people there was one journalist who asked so what is it do you what do you call yourselves, what do you do, and they were like demonologists, and then Ed Lorraine suddenly interjects, yeah, you can also call us freaks.
freaks.
Yeah. so
They have
so I love the fact that they could laugh at
yeah,
themselves at what they did, and
they're
because like some of
self-deprecating.
the cases were like downright preposterous
Yeah,
and
I'm
just
sure they
funny.
need to weed through all of those as well
I'm
when they
sure.
do cases.
But I enjoy every moment watching Ed and Lorraine. I think Vera
And yeah, yeah,
Vera
Farmiga.
Farmiga. I think
They have a good chemistry, right?
yeah, they have good chemistry.
Patrick
Those two.
Wilson, Vera Farmiga.
They're awesome. Like and it's not like this big ooh demonologist. Let me get
No,
my
no,
book
they're
and
domestic people,
yeah, they're the regular people who just happen to have an interest and a high success rate of solving shit.
and they kind of like live for service. I think
Yeah,
that's why they continue doing that.
because they're fucking
They're
Christians.
fucking Christians,
Yeah.
right? That's they're like
Help thy neighbor.
with this demon illustration problem.
But again, it's refreshing in the horror genre that because a lot of like demonologists or witch doctors or
Mhm,
basically good guys who fight the evil,
mhm.
a lot of them are like frustrated priests, like
Yeah,
or people who have lost faith,
yeah,
like the like in
have
The
lost their
Exorcist
way.
it was a wayward
Yeah,
priest. In Constantine he rebelled against God even though he was doing God's
mhm.
work. So it was refreshing to see a take on look, they're Christians, they have their faith, they
Mhm.
have their religion, but they also deal with all things diabolical and supernatural. So
And a
I guess
sense
in
of
that
humor
way,
is one of those weapons for them.
exactly. So I feel that that is still the strongest point of this whole Conjuring universe number of flicks, because honestly even the past movies, I just always be interested in what Ed and Lorraine were up to.
Yeah, every time I think Ed and Lorraine were not in the scene, the other actors kind of struggled with it. There was a time when like it seems like this a teenage flick where the parents are sorely lacking.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah, parang let's have a party. Let's
let's
have a
just have a
house party.
party.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then everybody dies at the end.
especially when the best friend of the babysitter just gets in. It's like, okay, we know where this is going, right?
Yeah. She's the one who's gonna fuck everything up
Yeah,
because
despite
all
all
they
the
wanted to do is
signs.
bake a cake.
Yeah, bake a cake, get the
That
birthday of
strawberry
McKenna.
frosting looked really good though. When
Yeah,
they
she
were
can
mixing
bake,
that
man.
frosting, I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, that must be some really good frosting.
Well, she had one job: watch the oven.
Yeah, and she failed.
She
She
fucked it up,
burned the
man.
cake.
But as it
Um,
is, sometimes I think they should stick a knife in the Conjuring franchise. But with stuff like this, I mean, there seems to be renewed life in it every so often, even if they
yeah.
give us just little crumbs. There seems to be interest in things that are demonic and spiritual in the dark side, not only because it reflects our fascination with those things, but also because Ed and Lorraine Shadow, they're just really interesting people and they cast such a big shadow over the tradition of the occult in the US.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you notice like the really good horror films?
Mhm.
They're not sticking Like they're not sticking the vampire in your face. They're not sticking the
Mm-hmm.
werewolf in your face. They're not sticking the demon possessing the
Mm-hmm.
child in your face. They're sticking the exorcist in your face. They're sticking Van Helsing in your face.
It's the
It
hero,
it it
right?
it shows the struggle of the hero
Mm-hmm.
against these seemingly impossible odds of conquering demons and whatever. I think the good films are like that because if you made a werewolf film and the werewolf is killing all these people, but you still focus on the werewolf, it's just like you're just trying too hard.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of successful horror involves the humanity
Mm-hmm.
aspect
The
of.
creature needs to be just a metaphor or incidental, right?
Exactly. So I guess it was.
But begs the question, bro. What is Ed and Lorraine's mission? Is their struggle just to live a normal life?
uh I guess you could say that,
And on some
because it
level, right?
shows
They
it
just wanted to be
shows
a family.
it shows how. Remember during the start of the film, it shows how Ed was your typical
Yeah, it's a
guy,
daddy die.
not knowing where to go, but I mean, Lorraine was holding the map, but
Mhm.
Ed was insisting that he knew the
He knew
way.
a way to go. And like,
So he was
no, this is a
flawed.
shortcut,
Yeah, he
man.
was flawed luck, just like any other
Yeah.
idiot, like on
He didn't
planet
want to
Earth.
ask directions, stuff like
Didn't
that.
ask directions. Then when they pulled over, he popped the hood and
Mhm.
I mean, he's a demonologist. I don't think he's like an expert in cars and whatever. But then he popped the hood
Very
and he
human.
just continued trying to get the car to
Yeah,
start,
yeah.
which left Lorraine a little
Just fiddling
vulnerable.
with the with the
She
map.
was vulnerable to the spirits because she didn't have anything to do, and obviously Ed didn't want her help under the hood.
Under the
So,
hood. Yeah, and I can do this. Like,
so yeah, it's that struggle to be normal
Mhm.
that really that really interests me with Ed and Lorraine. They're not your neighborhood psychic
Mhm.
who claim so much shit. As
Yeah.
much as they're experts in the field, they're also students in the field.
Yeah, and they're not arrogant about their knowledge, right?
No, they're not arrogant at all. And if you look at their house, I mean, the clutter of that room, but then it's just a
It's
small
lived in.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's lived
small
in.
house.
People are like, you know,
And probably because they couldn't afford to rent a place
out.
far away
Oh, yeah,
to
far
put
away to put
the
this.
the
Yeah,
artifacts in. So
they don't have a containment unit for it.
no, they don't have that. They don't
Just
have
put it in our basement. Man.
exactly. Just put it in the basement. No one's there anyway, and we usually live
A floor above
a
it.
floor
Anyway.
above
Yeah.
it. So yeah, just stick it in the basement inside
Yeah.
a very normal looking neighborhood. So I guess it's that. If you love, I wouldn't say if you love Annabelle, watch the film, but if you
Mhm.
love Ed and Lorraine, you should definitely watch the film. And again, bring a friend, bring the gang.
What's your score
Or
for this, brother?
I'd probably give it my not so generous nature. I feel I'm generous, but I'm really not. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible, so it's not a 3, but it's not the greatest thing. Like, dude, if you got money troubles, then by all means, do not watch this film. I mean, do not waste your money on a 350 peso movie ticket.
it's not an important part of the Conjuring
Yeah,
franchise.
it's
Man.
not important at all. But in the sense that movies are here to entertain,
Yes,
it did
I agree.
accomplish its
Yeah.
mission. How many minutes did I fall asleep during the film? Just about 10 minutes, 10 to 15,
15 max.
which is not
right?
bad
Yeah.
because, like, during John Wick, I completely did not see Haley Berry.
I think, brother, you were awakened by the screams of our neighboring
Yeah,
seatmates.
yeah.
Because there was a lot of that.
Because there was a lot of screaming. And, it wasn't terrified screaming. It was fun
It
screaming.
was fun screaming.
They'd scream and then they'd giggle after,
Yeah.
right? So it's that kind of a movie. Again, I give it a 6 out of 10.
Mhm.
If you got extra money or your date happens to have a lot of money and will pay for your ticket, then by all means watch it.
And
But
grab a popcorn. while you're
yeah,
at it.
yeah, definitely you need popcorn with it. You need something to keep you busy. How about you? What's your rating for
Well,
Annabelle?
I'm pretty disappointed because they didn't take the chance to add to the Conjuring mythos. The real takeaway from this is just, oh my God, Ed and Lorraine have so many cases
They're
that
so badass.
they're so badass. Like,
Uh,
they solve so many things across so many states. Aside from that, though, it really does the entertainment very well.
yeah.
And like, I know the offbeat scare is coming, but I'm still surprised. And isn't that at the end of the day what a horror
Yeah.
movie?
Why you watch horror
Why
movies?
watch horror
yeah.
movies? That's the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it just a 5. I was going to give it a 3, but really I was entertained by the teens and the kid
Yeah. Like I'd give it a 6. I
Mhm.
mean, I'd give it a 7 if somehow after watching the movie I'd be terrified going home
Going
and
home,
staying
yeah.
alone in the condo, but it's none of that.
No,
It's not that. Like
no.
after the movie we went out
Plus,
to
you have a lot of like action figures and Funko Pops at home, right?
yeah, and but after the movie we grabbed a bite and then we made our regular I made my regular commute home
Mhm.
and I completely forgot about it. Like I just played guitar when I was
There you
home.
go.
It's not like one of those horror movies that'll keep you up at night. So
Yeah.
again, it's fun. It's one of those
It's
fun
totally
movies.
fun,
Yeah.
solely entertaining. Props to James Wan for choosing Mr. Gary Dauberman, the new director,
Yeah.
and props to Warner Brothers for again stealing more of our money
Yeah.
to prop up another Conjuring franchise
Yeah.
installment.
The running time is about 106 minutes, so
See, like all
so
just running and screaming from the teens of
you'd
the
think they'd
movie.
run out of room to run
To
inside
run
that small
inside like
house.
such a small house, right? It's just
Yeah.
2 floors of
Apparently
a
the budget
house.
for the movie was like between 27 to 32 $32 million.
That's a
It
lot.
doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like
It
it.
doesn't look like it at all,
I
but
guess that suit of samurai armor cost them
and I guess
in the
well
basement,
the Ed and Lorraine fund is costing them quite a
costing them
bit,
quite
yeah.
a bit. Yeah,
Because
for
as
the
I
estate.
understand, Ed and Lorraine like declassified their files
They did
and
before
the
the Lorraine died. I
for
think Ed
Lorraine.
died first. Yeah,
Yeah. So again, I mean, I'm not calling them money grabbers, but again, they are
they
making
do
some money.
deserve like
Yeah.
yeah for their
So
service.
yeah, it's that kind of a movie, and if you haven't seen it and you got a few extra bucks to spare,
Go
and you and the
do
gang are
it.
looking for something to do on a rainy, damp night, then
Yeah, it's a longish TV episode. Like
yeah,
worst ways to spend your night.
maybe not make it the main film of the evening though. Maybe a good
Yeah,
opener film, and then watch a
watch it
like really funny comedy after. Like
afterwards just to decompress.
so yeah, that's our rating, and we
All
hope you
right.
enjoyed this episode of Kill the Lights. Again, Kill the Lights, our podcast deals with everything supernatural, dark, scary, horror, everything on the fringes. And if you got like suggestions, just hit us up on our Facebook page, Kill the Lights PH. And thank you for listening.
Thank you
We'll
so
catch you again.
much.
Bye.
Bye.